I know I had low expectations, but I didn't think it'd be this bad. Hey yo, what's good? Welcome to The Gist. With me, Jared. Well, here we go. Another Sony Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man, trying to make another Spider-Man villain an anti-hero. It's truly mind-boggling how a movie this bad actually got released. To kick off the spoiler-free portion of this review, I can't think of one good thing about this movie. The plot, if you want to call it that, was very disconnected. Kraven is a self-proclaimed hunter of questionable individuals. He's positioned as a mythical vigilante figure, whose past kinda catches up with him. Again, the movie doesn't do a great job with its narrative points or narrative flow. We spent 30 minutes on a flashback backstory that gave little to nothing on the characters involved in the plot. For Kraven, it doesn't do a good job at explaining how he got to his supposed worldview. The antagonist and his motivations aren't clearly explained either. The acting in this sequence specifically was rough, but turns out the rest of the film was also tough to endure, but more on that later. The flashback was a significant chunk of the movie that didn't provide substantive value to the story they were supposedly trying to tell. For the movie as a whole, the action was a bit bloody and graphic at times, but was hollow. There was a tonal conflict between the action and the story. It's not like Deadpool, where the character is over the top and clearly crosses plenty of lines, so the action and the violence follow suit with the crude and meta humor. And it's not like John Wick, where the brutality and violence accentuate the grit and seriousness of the world. Kraven gives some pretty violent sequences that don't hold meaning nor have depth. It seems like they wanted this to be rated R for shock value alone. And for me, it missed the mark. The movie wants to be taken seriously, but fails to earn that level of investment from the audience. Furthermore, on the plot, there are quite a bit of plot conveniencies and plot holes that really frustrated me. Many times the dialogue was forced, and the delivery of those lines didn't help.
I stared death in the face, and for the first time, I saw my true self.
I laughed out loud at how poorly and cringe-inducing these were. There were also a handful of scenes where the actors seemed to flow in and out of the accents they were using. I'm not one prone to leaving a theater for a bad movie, but Kraven got me really close a couple of times. I wanted to give this movie a shot because I like Russell Crowe, and I find Aaron Taylor Johnson a decent enough actor to see if the look and physique of a leading man would lead to a good movie. But even their performances were bad. Admittedly, there probably wasn't much to work with this movie, but the hope of having a modicum of something good was an expectation that resulted in disappointment. The CGI in this movie was noticeable. From the animals to special creature effects, it lacked a sense of authenticity and in-world realism even in a superhero comic book movie. Maybe I'll give them a nod for the effects on the eyes, but even then it's slim pickings at this point. Bad plot and bad characters, there's just no verisimilitude with Kraven. And that's where I'd like to bring up some spoiler gripes.
My son, never show mercy.
Kraven's powers do not make sense, let alone his character. He got a drop of lion blood infused with a mystic woman's potion, and now he has the powers of some, if not all, animals. Vision of a hawk, super strength, super speed, and extreme durability. There's a point in the movie where he and a regular human being fall hundreds of feet from a building explosion to the ground and both survive. And then the movie doubles down on this lunacy by having the rubble from the building also fall hundreds of feet onto him, and Kraven still survives.
Son of a bitch! You done messed up, Aaron!
No verisimilitude whatsoever. This movie fails to have narrative consistency. Kraven's egotistical, obsessive, and powerful father can't find him for a full 16 years since he ran away from home, even though he ran away to a place his family has been to before and I believe they own. And then the movie suggests that Kraven would visit his brother every year for his birthday. And his crime boss father is either unaware or okay with this? Come on, man. Kraven is also not an effectively fleshed out character. He seems to love animals, but killing fish is okay. He seems to be fine donning animal skin and products, despite how the movie positions his younger self. We are also just left to assume that somehow a teenager was able to run away from home to a hut in the middle of nowhere and become a highly skilled assassin. And then this so-called skilled hunter for 16 years can't find the girl whose family's potion saved his life. I thought he was the best hunter in the world. I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, nor very informed on Kraven's history in the comic books, but to have Kraven, the hunter, not want to hunt animals was a significant misstep with this whole movie. Oh, and then the one Spider-Man reference is that Kraven is afraid of spiders, because he was supposedly haunted by visions of his mother, who committed suicide, crying out about spiders. Just an awful movie, man. And that's the gist to some of my spoiler-free and spoiler-filled thoughts on Kraven the Hunter. I try to be reasonable, fair, and honest with these reviews. I don't enjoy wasting my time on a bad movie, let alone doing a review for one. But this movie was just terrible, and probably the worst film I've seen in a long time. There's more that could have been said about the inconsistencies of the plot or the abysmal characters, but I'm not going to give this movie any more of my time. If you actually watch this movie, one, I'm sorry, but I'd like to know what you think. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll catch you next time on The Gist.